Hey guys, it's Jenny here. Welcome back to my channel. So today I have my December wrap up for you guys. So in the month of December, I ended up reading 8 books and completing my TBR for the month. So that's so exciting for me. I don't think I've ever fully completed a TBR on this channel, which is really crazy, but hey, now I finally did it. So I read some hefty books this month, like hefty. So we're just gonna get right into it. The first book that I read in the month of December was Kingdom of Ash by Sarah J. Maas. This is the 7th and final book in the Throne of Glass series, and I bawled like a baby. And some of you may know that if you watch my vlogs. I cried so hard when I read this book, but I loved it so much. Every single one of its pages, all 980 of them, I loved them all, and it had me feeling a lot of things, but I really adored this book, and honestly, I don't think I could have asked for anything better out of a final book. So I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. The next book I read in December was actually a poetry collection, and that was The Dark Between the Stars by Atticus Poems. So this is basically, it's like 3 bundles of poems. There's The Dark, The Stars, and Between. And honestly, by far, The Dark was my favorite of all of them. They're all separate it's hard to explain, but The Dark is like a subject. So it's like, they're kind of like chapters with the sub-chapters in between. But I really liked this. Overall, I gave the whole book a 4 stars. And I just really liked it. So, yeah. Next, I read Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young. I listened to this on audio for a readathon, and essentially this is, basically it's the Wonder Woman of Vikings. That's how it's described. Part Wonder Woman, part Vikings. This is about a girl named Elin who fights with a warrior Viking clan, and one day when she's on the battlefield fighting their enemy clan, she sees her brother fighting with the enemy. But that's not the entire shocker. The shocker is that her brother had died years before that. So not only is she seeing her dead brother, but he's fighting with their enemy clan. So when this legendary other clan that is enemies of both clans comes and sacks both of their clans, the enemy clans have to unite together to defeat the legendary force of Vikings. And it was really good. It really surprised me. I gave this a 4 stars. I really liked it. There's like a slow burn romance in here, and I really liked it. Take a shot for every time I say like, and I guarantee you'll have alcohol poisoning. Anyways, I gave words are hard. I gave this a 4 stars, and I was just really pleasantly surprised by it. And I can't wait to see what else Adrienne Young can do, because man, I think this is her debut novel. So, read that. Next, I reread A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. Honestly, I was having a really hard time post Kingdom of Ash, so to get myself out of a book slump, I listened to A Court of Mist and Fury in 2 days flat. So this is book 2 in the Court of Thorns and Roses series. It's my favorite. I love it so much. I obviously gave it a 5 stars because... So, I adored this with all my heart. The audiobook was just as good. So, I think I've now read this 8 times. So, I read that. I can't really give you a synopsis on it because it's a sequel, but yeah. Next, I read Legendary by Stephanie Garber, finally. This is the sequel to Carval, and essentially Carval is about this mysterious magical carnival game that only comes around a certain amount of times, and I don't even know how to accurately describe this book in a way that will give it justice. But you have to determine what's real and what's not, and the stakes are often very high and fatal, and etc., etc. And the first book was really great, but this book blew me away as well. I was so shocked. I love seeing Tella's point of view and Dante's point of view. I guess you didn't really see Dante's point of view, but I loved reading more about him because I liked him in Carnival a lot. But then you get into Legendary and he's like, oh, okay. I loved all the characters in this book except for Jax. He can choke. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. Overall, I'm pretty sure I gave this a 5 stars as well. I listened to part audio and part physical. So yeah, I overall really liked this book, and I cannot wait for finale because the cliffhanger this book left off on, like, what? The next book I have for December was Two Dark Reigns by Kendra Blake. I finally got around to this one as well. After waiting a year for this book to come out, I finally got around to it, and I was not disappointed. This became my new favorite in the trilogy. This is from the Three Dark Crowns trilogy, and this was book 3. I felt a lot of things in this book. I really loved all of the point of views Kendra Blake was able to master. Same thing for Kingdom of Ash. The ability to write in multiple point of views is scary, especially to like an author. They're like, oh my gosh, what if what do you even call them? What if the readers don't like it? So there's that. But yeah, I loved it. She did so well with it, and every single point of view was made interesting. Like, there's so much mystery and like a thick plot. Like, everything is bundled up and it's just now starting to unravel. And like, everybody's point of view was so interesting, and I'm so glad I read it. Like, I was so, like, my face was always buried in this book. I'm like, oh my god, what? Sorry, Rachel called to ask me what I wanted from Starbucks, so heck to the yeah on that. But as I was saying, overall, she just did so well with this. Like, each point of view was so interesting. Like, there was so much mystery in each person's, and like, one thing from the next, I'm like, how is this happening right now? And my heart, like, oh my god, my heart. And then the plot twist, the cliffhanger we were left on. I'm having difficulties. I do this to myself every time. I'm like, oh my god, I can't wait for the next Three Dark Crowns book. And then it comes out and I'm like, I should wait because I know it's going to end on a cliffhanger. And then I don't wait. And then when I read it, it gets left on a cliffhanger. And I'm like that surprise Pikachu meme. I'm like, no, this is going to end on a cliffhanger. When the book actually leaves off on a cliffhanger, I'm like, the cliffhanger in this, I don't even know what happened. Like, I can't fully grasp what happened in this book. And now I have to wait a year for the next one. For the last one. And 5 stars for that one as well. I'm like Oprah Winfrey. You get a 5 stars, and you get a 5 stars, and you get a 5 stars. Anyways, the next book I read in December was A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. I listened to this on audiobook. Well, I was waiting for the Diviner's audiobook to get to me, and oh my god, I listened to this all in one day and my heart still hurts. This book was so good. This is about a boy named Connor who every night at 12:07 this monster appears outside of his window, and it's a monster that takes form out of a yew tree. So every night this monster comes by, and you know, he thinks they're dreams, but he's kind of struggling between like dreams and reality. And the reason for this is it's his coping mechanism in light of his mother's downfall with cancer. So his mom's battling a fight with cancer. I should say battling a losing fight with cancer. And she's going through chemo treatments, and so he's completely alone in all this, and this monster kind of acts as like a friend to him that is preparing him for the ultimate outcome. So yeah, this book was so deep. I wasn't expecting it to be that deep, but it hit me so hard. Patrick Ness had a real way with words in this, and like the symbolism and just everything was so phenomenal. I couldn't even, I was bawling my eyes out. Like, the ending, I was like sobbing uncontrollably, and my sister's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, nothing, I can't. It's a really great book, guys, and it has got some amazing illustrations in it. Like, when I would get to a certain chapter, I would flip to the book and like see these amazing illustrations. And they're just stunning. They're like, they kind of give me Poe vibes. There's our monster. So yeah, I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. The next book I have not yet finished, but there's 4 or 5 days left in December, so I know I'll be able to since I have it on audio. I just really needed to get everything filmed, so I've been so stressed out about filming that I haven't been reading. So now that these are out of the way, I'll have the rest of December to catch up with this book, and that is The Diviners by Libba Bray. This is set in the 1920s, and it's kind of got like a paranormal aspect. So it's about a girl named Evie O'Neill who has been exiled and shipped to New York City in the times of the Roaring 20s. So it's filled with speakeasies, Z-filled girls, and pickpockets. She has to live with her Uncle Will, who has an obsession with the occult. So she's worried that he will discover her secret, which is the fact that she has a supernatural power. So her uncle is called to the crime scene of a murdered girl branded with a cryptic symbol, and she realizes that her gift could help catch the serial killer running rampant in New York. So I'm really excited to finish this up. I honestly think it's easily going to be like a 4 or 5 stars. I've heard nothing but great things about this, so I'm really excited to get to this. So, let's try not to die. This is everything that I read in December, and I'm so pleased with this finally. I think that I am actually finally out of my book slump, which makes me really happy and excited for January, in 2019 in general, for, you know, a reading year. So I've already improved so much with my reading from 2017. So I can't wait to see what 2019 brings. Maybe I can finally reach my goal of reading 100 books in a year. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.